Segment, we have a massive clash once again in Serie A. Now, it's kind of more of a historical clash we have because there is a big discrepancy between where these two clubs are in the rankings. But this weekend we have AC Milan taking on Juventus. Martino, you know AC Milan as well as anybody. 8th place right now. Juve's in 3rd place, but I want to focus a little bit more on AC Milan right now before we get into what we think is going to happen this weekend, because it has been a difficult start. And look, I don't think any of us expected them to skyrocket to 1st place, but a lot of money was put into this club. A lot of new players were brought in. Certainly, there's got to be a lot of pressure right now based on the way things have not gone so well so far.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, it was a real difficult project for Vincenzo Montella to take on. Not only were they getting 11 new guys, there were a lot of guys who were relatively young. They have one of the youngest teams in the top 5 leagues in Europe, the youngest one in Serie A. So it's going to be difficult for them to play catch-up. Over $200 million worth of signings. They haven't solidified an exact formation and to get the right players in there to develop a continuity and a chemistry. And it's kind of like what we talked about with City just before. I know there's a talent level difference, and Milan's not on an 11-win run. They're in the most difficult spot. They picked up the win today, but it's just you could see a moment in certain teams where they just figure it out in the middle of a game. And even with today's 4-1 win, I just personally didn't see it. And I think it's going to take time. And it has nothing to do with talent, in my opinion. There's just fundamental flaws that they keep making. There's the wrong passes at the back. They keep making dangerous passes there. They're losing their man marking, especially Bonucci in the Inter derby. Mauro Icardi, the most dangerous striker arguably in the league, is wide open in the box. That's fundamental. That has nothing to do with chemistry. That has to do with you being in the spot that you need to be in to prevent a goal so you guys can get some points. And this is the teams are off to great starts. Inter's off to a great start. Juve, who we're talking about right now, it's just the bigger the hole they get into, the more difficult it's going to be. And Champions League is very important because they need that money coming in because they took out a bunch of loans and they need to pay off those loans. So if Champions League isn't there, this might be a bigger problem than a lot of people think.
Now, Juventus, on the other hand of things, they're in 3rd place, and I think they certainly look like they're in for a bigger fight to win the Scudetto this season than they have been in a long time. It seems like Napoli and then Inter are really giving them a hard time right now. But again, Juve is only in 3rd place. Another win like this could help them get their confidence back and climb back up to the top of Serie A. But again, we know that AC Milan, they're not gunning for the top right now, but they are looking to get back on track, start to build some momentum. So what are you expecting from this weekend? Are they going to show more life? Is Juve going to start to get their groove back? What do you think?
Well, I think both teams aren't playing to the capabilities at all. I mean, Bonucci's not going to be playing in this game, so we're going to have to wait for the rematch back at the J Stadium. So he's not going to be here this weekend. But I just think Juve's attack is way too good for Milan right now. I mean, Milan, like I was saying, there's too many defensive flaws. They're playing at 3 in the back. Ricardo Rodriguez is a natural left back. That doesn't bode well, okay? He was playing 3 in the back at Wolfsburg last year. They were almost relegated. So it's obviously not a position he's comfortable in. All these young guys are getting adapted to this. I know they played well against Juve last year. They beat them in the Supercoppa. They beat them at home. But it's just a different animal with this attack, and I just don't see how Paulo Dybala isn't going to be able to put at least 2 past this squad. Because as of right now, I just don't see it. Regardless if it's a rivalry game and they play each other tough, Mauro Icardi still put 3 past them, and it was a tight game. So I just see this happening, and Milan doesn't do well in adversity. They don't respond well when they go down a goal. So if Juve scores early, it's over early.
You mentioned an interesting point where you don't think Juve's kind of played up to what they're capable of right now. Paulo Dybala might just be the only player on that club who has played up to his level of expectation so far, but we'll certainly see this weekend.